Welcome to the Stevia Show. It's the Stevia Show. Helping you expand on what you know. Throw in a meme of the week and a review of the screen. And to have a show that covers everything.
Hey, Team Stevia, and welcome to episode 97 of the Stevia Show.
A talk show podcast that covers pop culture, world news, local artistry, and everything in between.
As always, this is Steven.
And this is Lydia.
And oh my gosh, Lydia, what's your last name today?
My last name today is Winford.
Right, and then what's it going to be the next time we talk to you?
It'll be Malden.
Oh, that's so weird. I was looking at the thing where it says Lydia Winford. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to change that. So
we're gonna have to change all of it.
This is the last episode featuring Lydia Winford. So this is Lydia Winford's last episode, but Lydia Malden will be back here in a few weeks. So
yes, I will.
We will be talking about Lydia's wedding here in a second. And as always, we would like to thank you for listening to our previous episode, Might As Well Jump, which included that phenomenal Van Halen tribute by Stephen Walker. That just blew my mind.
That was so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, you said whenever you watched
it like 80 times.
Yeah, and you said whenever you watched the video, you just like couldn't comprehend it, like just like how fast he was
going. How?
Yeah, dude is nuts, absolutely nuts.
It was definitely over my brain.
Yeah, same here. That's why I said fuck no whenever you asked if I could play it, because I still stand by that. Yes. So for the meme of the week this week, Mike, out of freaking nowhere, Mike like literally dips into OC Friday once, posts a meme, and then wins. But thankfully he did end Dalton's 5-week streak. So that was really nice that we have a finally new blood in the OC Friday realm. And I mean, and I guess if you and I weren't, dethroning Dalton, at least it's gone to somebody who hasn't won before. But it just was
how the movies didn't make it.
I know, yeah, because I mean, at least the Shrek one I made was good, and then
it was hilarious.
But the weird thing about, I will say, I have to agree with Joe on that one. Whenever he said that, if anything, that Dalton was Thanos and we were Iron Man, because I think he's absolutely right. If you're winning 5 in a row, you're not, dinky little Iron Man compared to Thanos. You're Thanos with the Infinity Gems. So perhaps D-Baz saw that, and that's why he didn't win. But overall, still congratulations to Dalton for an amazing reign, and congratulations to Mike.
Run.
Yeah, and Mike had the meme featuring me and Abby as Hopper, and
that was so
yeah.
Funny.
Oh gosh, what's her name? It's Hopper, Joyce. Yeah. As we were Hopper and Joyce for Halloween last year, so I had my my Hopper cigarette hanging out of my mouth and my cowboy hat.
Far back. He went far back to find that pic.
Yeah, he did. But he said so it said like news, or no, it said scientists. It said scientists wearing a mask, stops the spread of COVID. Then it said conservatives, and then there's like 2 of us, and and Abby's like has her Joyce face, and then I'm cigarette dangling out of my mouth with the cowboy hat because I was Hopper. So congratulations to Mike.
So awesome.
Yeah. And Lydia, as promised, you have a response to Sam's thesis on Paul Blart Mall Cop. So let's go ahead and just I guess rip the bandage off. We'll just rip it off.
I did think that I should just pretend like I never watched it.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like we're about to lose a listener after I talk about this. And I feel like I have a pretty good, I've done a lot of movies over the last couple years, so I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what a good movie is.
Yeah, honestly, I would put you in the Academy, who, the people who select the I think you have a fair opinion on movies.
I feel like I do have a fair opinion on movies.
And even like the ones that you weren't personally a fan of, like Midsummer, like you still said like there were good things about it. It just wasn't for you. So yeah, I feel like you're totally fair. So just backing you up here, team.
Yeah, thanks. I do appreciate that, because what I'm about to say next, we're gonna have an outrage. Okay. Tomorrow morning, I already can see the Discord just burning up.
And you're just gonna mute notifications.
So here we go. Dip. Paul Blart Mall Cop, the original. When a shopping mall is taken over by a gang of organized crooks, it's up to a mild-mannered security guard to save the day. So I started out watching Paul Blart Mall Cop, and I was just going to take notes throughout, but that basically stopped after note number 4. Okay. So my first thought was, wow, it has a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yikes.
Yikes.
My second thing was the first beginning of the shot of the movie, it's Kevin. What's his name?
Kevin James. He's one of those that has
Kevin James.
He has 2 first names as a full name.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kevin James playing Paul Blart is running, and it says, and it just basically just shows him have sweat under his man boobs, and I'm like, this big boy, he be sweating everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's a little. I mean, for the movie to do that, that's a little body shaming, and that's not cool. That's not cool. Yeah, we don't like that here. I did not appreciate that. Yeah.
I will say that the music was pretty decent throughout. I was like, okay, I can get to this music. They did a good job.
Did you write that at the Guitar Hero scene?
I actually wrote it before the Guitar Hero scene.
Okay, yeah.
So when the Guitar Hero scene came up, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah.
So what did it for me after I stopped? This is what did it for me to stop taking notes was when Paul Blart got intoxicated and then showed his daughter accidentally that he got a tattoo on his back of the Loch Ness Monster. That for me was it. I was like, nah, this is it. So here's the thing about Paul Blart Mall Cop, guys.
Yes, PBMC.
It is not a very good movie. I could see how they're trying to be funny, but they tried a little bit too hard to be funny. I could see how I mean, this is gonna sound bad, but I could see how people who are not very into movies would think that this might be a good movie, because maybe they just haven't seen very many. I was not entertained. I think I laughed one time throughout the whole movie.
Okay, which part?
Or
do you
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but to
I don't even remember when I laughed, but I know that I giggled one time because I was like, "Oh, that's kind of funny." I should have wrote it down, but no.
The Loch Ness Monster is where you stop taking notes.
The Loch Ness Monster was it. That was it for me. I think they were just trying too hard, and like it just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't for me. And like we said before, when movies aren't for me, I try to still give them a really, a fair rating here.
Right.
It's hard to give a movie a fair rating when Rotten Tomatoes scores it at a 33%, though.
Right. Well, and before people attack you in the Discord, your rating was higher than Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah, my rating is higher than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So there's at least a silver lining there.
But I will say that it probably is one of my lowest scoring movies I've ever watched for this podcast.
Oh man. Okay. Gotcha. So
I'm pretty sure if we went back that this would tie it probably was one of the lowest scoring movies.
Gotcha. So without any further ado, sorry.
I scored it a 4 out of 10. I would not watch this movie ever again. I'm sad that I signed up to watch the second one because I just already know it's going to be even worse than the first one. Once again, I like Kevin James. I think that the acting was fine. It just the story was stupid. And it was not funny. And they tried too hard to be funny.
Yeah, no worries. And I don't think that you should, of course, back down or apologize for your ratings. I mean,
I'm not.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. Because, I mean, you did what you said you were going to do. You said that you were going to watch it with an open mind, and you did. And that's just, sometimes we can't always get the results that we hope for, And exactly. I think that's okay. I mean, I like Paul Blart just because, it's a silly movie. And, it doesn't... Yeah. See, I like it because I think the movie knows it doesn't take itself too seriously. So... I just kind of watch it as oh, hey, it's on TV and it's kind of quotable. So for me, I'd give Paul Blart
it's not quotable though.
Oh, really?
Really? I felt like there was not any. There was no funny one-liners.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I get that.
Minus maybe when he said the Loch Ness Monster, that kind of was funny, but also it was weird, awkward, why the Loch Ness Monster? Why? It just wasn't.
Yeah, no, I get you.
There was not good one-liners. I didn't think.
Okay, maybe I'm not thinking it quotable. Maybe it's just there were some decent funny scenes. For me,
yeah,
like the recurring bubblegum song for the ringtone. I thought that was funny. Whenever he dresses up in the hockey goalie equipment and takes a stick and throws the guy over. And then I think my favorite part of the movie is the fact that he writes an oath for being a mall security guard. Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's just an entertaining movie. Like, contrary to what Sam says, I don't think it's like any better than Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane's one of the greatest movies of all time. But
it's not even comparable.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm entertained whenever I watch it, and I think this is where I leave it.
Yeah, see, I wasn't entertained.
No
I was
worries.
more like, dang, will this ever end?
Oh, no. Okay, I was more like, dang, will this ever end? F's in the chat.
Yeah, so sorry, Sam, but maybe
Yeah.
I should, Sam, do you need a recommendation of comedy, of funny comedy movies? Because I could probably give that to you by the end of the week.
Probably by the end of the day, honestly. When the second
Probably by the end of the day.
Yeah, because
as soon as you start roasting me in the Discord today and you say, yeah, Lydia, send me a list of funny movies, I'll send you a list. Don't worry. I got you.
Yeah, there'll be a good...
Because Paul Blart, not going to be on the list. Not going to be on the list.
And I will say the movies that Lydia has told me to watch, I have thoroughly enjoyed them. So I can vouch again for Lydia's, I guess, like matchmaking skills with movies. Because, I mean, we've been doing this for 97 episodes now, and I think she's only missed like no more than 10. I would guess 10 is like the amount of movies you've missed or media you've missed. So you've at least seen 87 new things since the start of this. So yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're really well versed in movies, and I think if Sam wants a recommendation, I think he should, just like you did with Paul Blart, he should take it with an open mind. I think that is only fair.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, Steven, did you end up watching Paul Blart Mall Cop too?
I did, yeah. And I mean, like, there were parts of it that I enjoyed. I mean, I didn't like it as much as Paul Blart 1. I thought the whole notion of like him going to, I think the whole notion of him going to like a security guard conference was hilarious, because like I already don't like conferences for work. I think they're a waste of time. And I think that that's kind of like what Paul Blart was saying. Like there's a conference for everything or whatever. But then it got really weird with like the bird villain and stuff like that. So perhaps my brain is too feeble to grasp such a concept. Or perhaps it just wasn't very good. And I don't know
what the Rotten Tomato score is, because I can go ahead and just tell you.
Let me guess. It's got to be under 20%. Is it? Okay. I'm gonna guess. Let's go with 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's a 5%.
A 5. I think
it's one of the worst ranked movies out of the whole world.
Okay. Shoot. Well, F's in the chat for Paul Blart and Kevin James, but also probably F's in the chat for Sam too. So
the fact that
I mean, I don't know if Sam does it because it's like an ongoing meme that he's committing to,
I'm hoping that it is.
If so, hats off to him, because that's genius.
Yes.
If he got both of us, not just one person, but two people to
watch it
on a relatively big podcast in the region to watch Paul Blart, hats off to him. Like, that's
good job, Sam.
Yeah, good job for sure.
But if it was just for the meme, I am a little sad that I wasted an hour and a half of my life watching this movie.
Well, then you're gonna waste another hour and a half watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
I know, I gotta watch number 2 this week.
Unfortunately, we're people of our word. Like, that's the only time that it kind of bites us.
Really when it kicks us in the butt,
for sure. So before we go on, do you have anything else you want to say about Paul Blart Mall Cop?
No, I just want to say, Sam, thank you. I appreciate you getting me out of my normal circle of movies. But maybe next time pick a better one.
All right. Sounds good. And we really don't have a lot to talk about today. We do have quite a bit with news with us, as well as a really good Stevia sound off and some cool things going on. But of course, you're going to have to wait until the end to hear that, because we need to update you all with the current news. And Lydia, with your COVID update that we haven't seen in a while, let's go ahead and hop right into it. What's going on with the COVID world? We
have not seen a COVID update. And you know what? I said, we should probably update people on COVID, because some people just think that it has gone away. I'm just like going to stores with my mask, and like people are just not wearing masks anymore. So here I am. So COVID update. We have 39,792,256 global cases. Of those cases, 27,350,956 have recovered. 1,111,498 have died, which leaves us to believe that we have about 12 million active cases right now.
Globally.
And about global cases. And about 6,000 people die every day.
That's a shame.
Globally. Here in America, we have 8,123,273 cases. We have 3,220,573 recovered cases. Of those, we have 219,466 deaths. And here in the U.S., we have 4,666,525 active cases.
Oh man!
So if you wanted to go ahead and just do the math really quick, we have 12 million global cases and 4 million just here in the United States. That is roughly a third of all people have it in the United States.
And the other sad thing is that the United States, I think we're probably a top 5 populated country, but we're for sure not 1, 2, or 3. No. So because there's of course like China, India, places like that.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, but okay. So are we doing fine here in Oklahoma?
No. Yeah. So here in Oklahoma, we have 107,299 total cases. Of those total cases, 91,643 have recovered. We have 14,485 active cases as of today. And of those total numbers, we have had 1,171 Oklahoman deaths because of COVID. I was looking up some really cool graphs, and I wonder if I could share my screen. Should I share my screen to show the people this?
We could try. Yeah.
Let's see
what happens. Worst comes to worst, you can always just, click the unshare button. Oh man. Okay. So I need to try to click that. There we go. Okay. There's going to be a weird dividing line in the middle, but it should at least be legible.
I don't think it's working.
Dang it.
It's not working.
Shoot.
That's okay.
Okay.
It was a good try.
It was.
So listen. So looking at these graphs.
Oh, never mind. Okay,
what?
We're good. There's something on Discord. Okay, cool. No worries. Sorry.
This is the flat line, and this is where we're at. Okay,
no.
Here in Oklahoma, like this is where we should be. This is where we're at. It's not good.
Okay,
and it just keeps going up and up and up and up.
So for those playing at home, if you're not watching us, Lydia had her hand flat, and then she raised it almost like vertically. So I'd say like she went from a 90-degree angle to a whatever this angle would
45.
be. 45. Yes, thank you. Oh, okay.
Meaning we are steeping up
like
the
slope.
Salute.
Okay, like a salute. There you go. That's an easy way to do it.
Steeping up the slope.
Oh, fun.
It's not good here in Oklahoma.
And then, of course, in our lovely suburbs, like in Broken Arrow and Jinx and Bixby, they do not want to take Tulsa's lead because in the suburbs, we are free people. And that's why we are never going to see a mask mandate here in the suburbs because G.T. Bynum, the Republican mayor of Tulsa, is a tyrant, apparently. So oh man,
weird.
It's ridiculous. And I was talking to you earlier this week about so I was watching a documentary about George W. Bush and how he and how he united the country after 9/11. Now whether or not he responded correctly to 9/11, like that's, of course, we can debate that for like 10 episodes at least, so we're not going to get into that, but the country as a whole like felt united, like in because we experienced a tragedy together as a nation. And I feel like Bush at least did a good job of saying, we're in this together and making us feel like feel unified. And I was like, literally, how easy could this have been? Like this was a softball pitch for Donald Trump to do, and he didn't. So, and I think that's why we haven't heard a lot from him. I think that's honestly probably what is best for the Trump campaign. And before we get into the political section, the politics update of the show, let me go ahead and pull up the polls really quick because I still think Biden is beating him pretty bad. Yes, so Biden is up 8.9%, so almost a 9% lead right now. Biden has a 51.3% of the people who polled say they're going to vote for him versus 42.4% for Trump. So it is statistically kind of looking more like it's going to be a landslide for Biden. And Texas is now classified as a swing state, and so is Georgia.
And that's crazy. That is crazy.
I don't think a Democrat has not won Texas, I don't think, since Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the last time. Jimmy Carter
won Texas.
And I think Clinton won Georgia. I think first term Clinton, I think, won Georgia. So now, and it's showing that is a swing state, and also Arizona is more than likely going to go blue, which is also crazy. But also, you have to think about how Donald Trump treated John McCain, which is the favorite son of Arizona. So yeah, we're gonna and already voter turnout by mail-in voting is already higher than it was in 2016 just by mail-ins. So it's and this is just like, I'm not showing any bias or anything, but generally, whenever voter turnout is high, Democrats will win. Like, that's like almost like a guarantee.
Statistically, that's what happens.
Right. That's just it is what it is. So,
but that's because being able to mail in your ballot is it helps people who can't get to voting precincts. So like. The whole voting in person is voting suppression for a lot of people.
Well, no, it really is. And the fact that it's not a federal holiday or anything like that. And like, I love how Australia does it. In Australia, you are required by law to at least participate in the election, which I think that is a fair thing to do, because if we live in a so-called democracy, even though people try to make it as hard as they can for people to vote, and we have gerrymandering and all that fun stuff that both sides are guilty of. But in Australia, you can at least mark that you're choosing not to participate. So if you like legitimately don't like any of the candidates, you can mark that, but you're still participating in the election.
But you still have to participate in it.
And the fine's like, I think $50. Like, it's a very low fine, but they mail you your ballot, you mail it back. I think it's genius. I mean, if you want,
I'm pretty sure in Australia too, correct me if I'm wrong, they only put like eligible candidates on their ballot system.
I believe so, yeah, because Australia does it just like everywhere else in the world except for us. They do it like a parliamentary style, so they do it like, and I think they also do ranked choice voting, which only 2 states I think do that now, and we need to, like, we as a country need to get on board with that. I do predict that if Biden wins, we're going to start seeing an overhaul of our election system.
I would hope so, because it just makes me sad that a lot of people just don't have access to vote.
Well, yeah, not only that, but also, Lydia, keep in mind, like, the fact that we live in Oklahoma, and the last time Oklahoma went blue was in like 1964 for Lyndon B. Johnson, so before our parents were alive, and that deters a lot of people from voting in the local elections that actually have way more impact on you than the presidential election. So if you have somebody who rightfully says our vote in Oklahoma doesn't matter because it doesn't, and then they don't show up to the polls, where they could really make a difference is on your local elections and your state questions, in which we have, one of those coming up. So it's just totally weird. And speaking of local elections, we do have our Senate candidate for the Democratic Party, one Abby Broyles. She outraised Jim Inhofe, which of course we can't look too much into that, but that's pretty big. I mean,
pretty cool.
Inhofe's been there since forever. So the Oklahoman reported on October 16th that Broyles, making her first political race, raised $911,763. There we go. From July 1st through September 30th, and finished the race, or the quarter, with $273,152 in her campaign account. There we go. And then the article goes on to say, the momentum is clearly within our campaign, says Abby Broyles. To date, we have had more than 30,000 individual contributions, showing Oklahomans are ready for change. They're joining us against an entrenched Washington insider who relies on big corporations and defense contractors to hide behind his false attack ads against me. So this is, honestly, living in Oklahoma my whole life, this is probably the most competitive Democrat that I've ever seen for an Oklahoma Senate race. And how sad is that? And again, it's playing into the whole thing. Like I don't care that we have 2 Republican senators. If that's how we vote, that's how we vote, but there should at least be a challenge, The
fact that there's not even been a challenge.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's just like, that's why I hate the 2-party system too, because if there wasn't parties, then people would be more, I think people would more likely vote for who would be qualified or who would help them the most, instead of just voting because they have an R next to their name or a D next to their name, right? And so I think that is it's just the two-party system is just it fails a lot of people because they're like, well, I'm not going to vote Democrat or I'm not going to vote Republican. They vote whoever, it just makes me makes me sad.
And I agree. And that's another thing that the rest of the world does well is like they have political parties, but more than two parties exist. So I know we're going to talk about the New Zealand election here in a second, and the fact that Prime Minister Ardern won by a landslide. She had 5 opposing parties running against her, but they all get proportional representation. So like, I mean, honestly speaking, I mean, yes, I'm a registered Democrat, but if we had more than a two-party system, I can guarantee you I would not be a registered Democrat. Like if we
probably not.
That's just for sure not. But that's just how it is, which is, you're right, absolutely sad. So what's happening with Kojo Asamoa-Caesar, our friend?
Oh, we do love Kojo.
Yes.
Kojo and Kevin Hearn will face off in a town hall. Congressman Hearn and Democrat nominee Kojo Asamoa-Caesar will participate in a town hall debate on October 29th in Bixby. Stay tuned for updates.
Yes. One of us will at least try to be there. I have emailed for a press pass, so hopefully we get that granted, and it'd be cool if we could, ask at least both of them one question, the same question, because of course, just because we had Kojo on the show, I mean, I'm not going to say no to talking to Kevin Hearn. Like,
no,
that's just, of course not.
We don't do that.
No, that's dumb. And then this is your exciting news with New Zealand. What happened there?
Yeah, so I just thought this was kind of cool. New Zealand Prime Minister, I think it's Jacinda Ardern,
yes.
won her second term in a landslide election victory, and she is one of the first women prime ministers New Zealand's ever had. She's actually the first woman to have a baby while in office and continue having an office.
Basically, she is a badass in all sense of the word.
So you said you mentioned a second ago that she was up against 5 other parties. She won by 49%.
Yes, so that is huge. Yeah. So and there, I don't know what the New Zealand Assembly has, but they need 61 seats for a majority, and her party, which is the Labour Party, which is like the international, that's kind of the International Socialist Party, so woo. So they won 18 seats for 64 seats. So that means that they have total control of the government, and the opposition can't really do anything, which is crazy.
Right.
So yeah, of course, congratulations to Jacinda Ardern. I'm not too sure if she is the first. Yeah, I
can't remember if she's the first, or I just remember she was the first one to have a baby and continue on to be prime minister, which I think is like the coolest thing ever.
She is not the first woman to be PM of New Zealand, which, okay, how amazing is that we can say she's not the first woman?
She's not the first. I mean, it's fine.
Well, but that's cool. Like, it's the fact that they've already had.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm just so excited about that. Like, we can the day where we can finally eliminate first non-white, first non-male, first non-Christian, first like the further we can eliminate those nons, I'm going to get more and more excited because diversity is a great thing. We believe in that here in the Stevia show. And then in the music world, our friends in Golden Ones announced the release of their new album, Nowhere Fast, for a release on November 27th, which is Black Friday. So pre-orders for physical, including vinyl, and digital copies are available now. So please go support your local musicians, and we are very excited for that record. Lydia was blown away by Golden Ones. Like, she was like, I needed that rock and roll in my life, and especially there's not a lot of women in rock and roll either. So you have front woman Sarah Frick. So I'm super stoked to hear more out of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Sure. So that does it for our world news. So now we have a lot of news with us. So here's what you all came for. Buckle in. We're excited. So first and foremost, the most exciting news, as mentioned earlier, Lydia is getting married this week. Woo! Woo-hoo! We have our millions of studio audience listeners going nuts right now. I have to actually mute them. Yeah, they're going. Exactly. So congratulations, Lydia. How does it feel that this is your last episode as Lydia Winford? How does that make you feel?
It's kind of weird to think about, I guess, but I'm excited. Yeah, Saturday's a big day, and I'm just ready for it to be here. And then we get to go on the honeymoon. So that's really what we're excited for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then do you have any advice to people who are about to get married or might be married, getting married soon? Like, what would you impart to them as your wisdom?
Oh, for like what? Just for
okay.
the wedding day?
What is okay? Probably a better way to word this. What is one thing you wish you would have known while planning a wedding? That's probably the easier way to put it. Maybe.
One thing I wish I would have known is that I wish I would have just got married within like 6 months.
Okay.
Like, because Matt and I have been engaged since July of 2019, and so it's just been a really long time. And so I don't know if he feels the same way. He might be listening, being like, "No, this is perfect time." But for me, I just wish it kind of was like we already, like we've just done it, know.
And I think that's good advice
I
too.
feel like waiting, like especially if you already we dated 2.5 years before he proposed to me. So like we kind of already I already knew. Like I already knew he was. So it was like, why are we waiting another year and a half? But so I wish I would have not done that. Maybe a year would have been fine, but it's just kind of been like dragging. Like, come on, this day, it's got to get here eventually,
Yeah, no, I feel you. So that's really good advice. We are excited for you, excited to be there on Saturday. And yeah, hopefully the honeymoon's a blast. We are excited to hear all about it. That'll probably actually be our 100th episode, which we are planning things for. But let's get this week done first and get Lydia married. Yeah. And then we will, of course, keep you all updated. But as promised, we have been doing updates to the show while even though we have all this craziness happening. So we are now on Patreon. So to make it easier for people to support us, we are now on both platforms, that being Anchor and Patreon, and both platforms receive the exact same benefits. So if you choose to support us, you can do whichever one works easiest for you, or if you can't support us, that's totally fine. We get it. We're all millennials here. And then just basically don't forget that our main show and content are free and always will be. So
yes, they will.
Thank you to listeners like you.
If you're not in the Discord, I mean, we basically just harp on this every week. So please just join us in the Discord. We have a good time there, but now you're actually missing new Discord emotes, and they are so cute. They're of Steven and I.
Yeah.
And our mini emotions.
Yeah. Yes.
Mainly Steven's emotions.
Well, no, also yours, because you have like the sassy hair flip, because we got 5, and I think we nailed the 2 for you and the 2 for me, and then the 1 for both of us.
Yeah.
And I remember. Yeah, we did a Zoom call, Lydia and I, and we both looked at it at the same time, and we should have reported it because like our reaction was like the exact same. We were both like, okay, stop. This is so freaking cute. Oh my
gosh, these are the cutest.
Yeah, they literally are. They are adorable. So please check out the Discord for that. And then next, we are doing our first ever collaboration, which we are really excited about. So my local music showcase streams are coming back this week. I will be streaming twice this week because Lydia will be, getting married, and that's obviously important. So I'll be taking her spot. So local music stream is coming back this week, and we're also very excited to announce that Norman, Oklahoma-based Starcatcher magazine editor-in-chief is Katie Robb, is going to curate half of each playlist with Steven. We're super excited to partner with them, and you can find Starcatcher and their high quality journalism at www.starcatchermagazine.com. Again, that is www.starcatchermagazine.com. And the stuff that she sent me, because she already did her half for this week, and I think there's only one band that we've had on before, like on the showcase. So she has obviously a lot more knowledge of the Oklahoma City music scene than we do. And every single song on that playlist was an absolute bop, as the kids would say.
Oh, I'm excited. A bop. I love a good bop.
We all love a good bop. So thank you, Katie. We're excited for this partnership, and we're looking forward to it.
Movember mobilization.
Yes.
Steve-O. It's almost that time, your favorite time of year.
Yes. So we are doing our first ever event in support of the Movember Foundation, which is an organization that aims to change the stigma that men face with mental health. In Western countries like the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, men count for at least 75% of all suicides, making them 3.54 times more likely likely to commit suicide, according to Healthline in 2019, which of course is very sad. And nearly 40% of men won't talk to anyone at all, like not just a therapist, but like their friends or their family. So almost half of men won't talk to anybody in regards to their mental health as well, according to Healthline. And this is another reason why a lot of people who misunderstand, feminism and the patriarchy, this affects men too. And this is a primary reason why, because I can't tell you how many times like I've heard, myself being told to man up, other people being told to like man up, or, to like strong men don't cry or whatever. And which is it's all bullshit, like men have emotions too, leave space for them. So that's why we're excited to do this with Movember, and we're excited. So what is our event, Lydia?
So doing our part in alignment with Movember Foundation, we are doing a virtual month-long event called Movember Mobilization. Stephen and 7 other men in the Tulsa scene will be facing off to see who has the best mustache in the scene to help fight the stigma around surrounding men's mental health.
Yes.
Voting. Oh, do you want me to
I was saying yes. Go ahead. I'm saying yes. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Voting will begin in the first week of November and go on throughout the month. Votes will be tallied on Instagram and Twitter, and we will total the votes from both platforms. The winner at the end of the month will receive a Stevia merch pack, a shout out on the show, the title of Best Mustache in the Scene, and a donation to the Movember Foundation in their name. We are going to do the bracket drawing right now.
Yes, we are. And we are very, very excited for this. I mean, I know I'm going to be a first round out. I kind of have a hunch as to who's going to win. So thank you to the 7 other men who are participating in this.
We want to place a side bet, and then the whoever wins has to donate, or whoever loses has to donate.
Oh, an additional donation?
Yeah.
Yeah, between me and you? Okay, sure thing. Yeah. Okay, because I think you've seen most everybody's mustaches, including the people that you haven't met. So, okay, perfect. And we do have people across all different bands, and then the Lone Podcast, like we're out here representing too. And we made it to where the individuals in the same bands will not face off in the first round. So we are excited for that. So that way their fans don't have to choose a heartbreaking battle between 2 of their potentially favorite members. So
right.
All right. So for the first side of side A, we have Joey Duffy of the band and our friends and Cliff Diver. And who is Joey facing up against, Lydia?
Okay, if you are watching on YouTube, you see that I'm mixing these papers up. I'm not looking at them. You see actually the names of them. I don't.
Okay, let me see if
I can read it. And I'm going with this one.
Oh, nice. Okay,
CJ.
So CJ. So that is CJ Cochran of our friends in Outline and Color, who we famously cyberbullied Red Baron Pizza with, and he is also a Twitch affiliate under the name Depressed Gamer. So you should go check him out, and that will be our first round. Is Joey Duffy of Cliff Diver versus CJ Cochran. So next up, we have our really good friend Alec Beeson, the relatively stern businessman of Goodfella, and who is he facing off against? If you pick me, I want a mulligan.
He faces off against Newt.
Okay, facing off against Newt Ferris. He is in the phenomenal pop punk band Anchorway. So that is going to be side A. Joey versus CJ and Alec versus Newt. So side B, we have Matt Ehler, again of Cliff Diver, versus... Oh, man.
Meanie. Okay, Steven, left or right hand?
Oh, I gotta go with left hand.
Max.
Oh, Max Ginzer of Rose Gold. Excellent. Okay. So that finally, why do I have to be up against Mike? That's cruel.
So that means you have to be up against Mike.
Dang it. I'm tearing the sad boy group chat apart. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Perfect. So yes, the side A, and we will do probably 2 votes a week. We'll keep you updated on our Instagram and Twitter. So we have Joey versus CJ, Alec versus Newt. And then on side B, we have Matt versus Max, and then Mike versus me. So we are very excited about that. And we can place our side bets after the episodes.
Sounds good.
And we will go from there. So yeah. And then next up, finally, we have Stevia Sound Off.
Wow, we got a lot this week. Stevia Sound Off is a section where Team Stevia sends us questions and takes good or bad, we don't care. And as long as they are written within reason, everyone on the show will answer them. We post a weekly thread on an Instagram story and our Twitter and have a dedicated channel on our Discord for this section. Let's see what we have this week.
Yes. So in the mailbag, Guyver Unit 01, he and our new executive producer, he asks,
yes.
I think this one's directed to me and he's going to ask you. I think he has it in his notes like a week from now, not a week, a year from now. So I think you'll probably hear this next year.
Okay.
So being married now, what do you wish you knew before you both got married? So, okay. So, or you can answer this. Okay. The way he has it worded, you can answer this the next episode you're on.
Okay.
So what do you wish you knew before you both got married and what would I do differently? I mean, I think I enjoyed the wedding planning with Abby. I think it really showcased how good of a team we were. But I think what I wish I would have known is how much like other people, like not just family, but also friends, like kind of try to like wedge their way into the wedding. So you really have to have a good clothesline, like in football terms, for people, and that's something that for me is hard because I have a tendency to be walked all over. So that was a that was a fun lesson to learn. I'll just leave it at that. That was a fun lesson to learn. But basically, to condense that, be sure that you are putting your partner's interests. Make sure that is the focus and not people who are external, because it's not their wedding, it's y'all's wedding.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Thank you. I think that was a pretty, wholesome but also stern take. So, okay.
So Steven had a take.
I did, yes. So I think American society peaked in 2015, and here is why I think that. So 2015, the wars were finally tapering off. YouTube was at its height. Like basically, I feel like 2015 was for millennials. Like that was our peak year. Like marijuana was being decriminalized in a lot of the country. Gay marriage was legalized. Like everything was looking so good until bam, 2016 happened. Like 2016, I feel like was kind of like the catalyst of where we're at today. And then also
I think we went backwards.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
3 years we've gone backwards.
Right. And with 2015, we had Gangnam Style was released. What does the Fox say? Like viral videos were still popular.
What does the Fox say?
Yeah. Yes. Chop. Yeah. See,
oh, good.
And then and that was also before the Star Wars sequels, before Disney ruined that. That was before. That was before a lot of bad things that happened. Okay, well, the MCU wasn't finished yet, but that's okay. I think we can take out the MCU for everything that was. Yeah. So, what do you think, Lydia?
The MCU is what made us be able to survive the last 4 years.
Yes, I 100% agree with that.
I agree with you, Steven, on that 2015 take.
Thanks. So hopefully, we can, fix this somehow. We were in the Paris Accord for climate change. Like we were actually starting to care about that.
Climate change was doing great.
Yeah, we were finally starting to care about that. Oh man. So, So then Dalton or Daltron asks, why does the Stevia show compare me to Trump? And I don't think we do. We compare you to we compared you to Thanos.
Yeah, not Trump.
Yeah. Boo. Okay. Next up,
I just don't think we did that, and I don't think we would ever do that. But no, yes, we did compare you to Thanos, though. That is accurate.
Yeah, we'll admit that. But no, I don't think any one of us. I don't even think Mike said, because Mike won, and he said it was like Obama handing the medal to Biden because I did the presidential. Yeah, no one said that.
Yeah,
Dalton.
That was funny.
No one said that. I just used a Trump gift that said wrong whenever he said that he was a good edgelord, but I was just being sarcastic. I thought that was pretty.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah, Dalton, you're wrong. No offense, but you're wrong. Okay.
Archmaester Robinson asks, "How does it feel to be meme material?"
Yes.
And honestly, it's kind of cool.
I was going to say, I love it. Like the fact that we have Stevia lore, I never thought we'd have that.
It cracks me up, honestly. Yeah. I never thought a meme would be made from us, but we get memes at least once a week, and it's funny.
Yeah, no, I 100% think that that's a cool thing. I mean, thankfully, we're not, being like Karen memes. Like we're being meme for good, not for bad.
Yeah, they're funny memes. Yeah. At least we're not like, yeah. That's
gotcha.
Good.
Okay, perfect. So next up, I don't know if I can answer this one, but Guyver Unit 01 wants to know 3 Netflix shows you think were canceled too early, and the same with Fox shows. I can tell you shows.
It's interesting that he chose Fox shows. I don't even think I watch any Fox shows.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Here's the thing with Chris, with the days of it's 2020. Like I don't watch cable, bro.
Yeah, well, I can tell you 3 shows that should have been canceled well before they got canceled. I mean, I think that's an easier question. Like I
don't even know.
I can think of 3 of those right now.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, okay. The Walking Dead has gone on way too long. Walking Dead should have ended like 3 or 4 seasons ago.
Agreed.
Yeah, so Walking Dead, there's one, because I used to love The Walking Dead, and now I can't watch it. It has gone on for way too long. 2, The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons, but it's just I think they're just in it for the fact that they've been on the air since 1989, and they want to keep that record for longest running show. But that's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, so I think The Simpsons should have ended way earlier than it did. The
content is still pretty funny.
It's hit or miss. I think it's hit or miss, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch it, but the shows that I do, if I do like catch one, they seem to make me laugh.
And then how Daniel Tosh and Tosh.0, how that's still going, I don't get it. Because Daniel Tosh, like...
Not even a TV show?
Yeah, I think Tosh.0 is still a thing.
I thought it was just a YouTube thing.
Well, but it's based on YouTube. But I think that Tosh.0 was like funny whenever I was in high school, like before. Yeah. And that was also before like a lot of what he says like wasn't regarded as toxic. But now that we've all learned since then that his content's kind of misogynist and and at times like racially insensitive. So like in high school, you're like, oh, that's funny, but then now you're like, we should probably grow up, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, but that's not cool.
So there's 3 for me.
Yeah, those are good. I think that I could also switch this to 3 shows you think were finished too soon, and I would like to add Game of Thrones into that. 100%. Like Game of Thrones should have gone on at least 2 more seasons just to get what we wanted out of it.
Right. Yeah, because
I think you could agree with me on that one.
That season 8 was terrible. That was atrocious.
3 shows that I mean, I don't really watch series as much unless they're big. Like I don't know. I couldn't answer that. So that's what you get from us today, Chris.
Hey, well, at least we got something. So next up,
and also I don't even know any shows that are on Fox. What is a Fox show?
Family Guy. That's another one that could be 4. That's gone on for way too long. Family Guy. Again, that was funny in high school and early college days, but not so much anymore. So so next up, JTag asks, what D&D class? I love this question. What D&D class would you be based off your personality? I have them pulled up for you, Lydia.
Oh, good, because I was...
Yeah. So I will list them, and then if whenever I say it, if you don't know what it is, let me know and I'll explain it to you. Okay. So first up, we have a barbarian. I think that's pretty...
You're barbarian. Got it.
Okay, bard.
Oh, bard?
Bard, yeah.
Oh, I don't... if it's not a barbarian, I don't know what a barbarian is. Then.
No. Oh, sorry. There's barbarian, which we got through. This is number 2. 2 is bard. Oh. Bard. So
okay, I don't know what a bard is.
A bard. Okay, so you know the guy who what's his name in The Witcher, who follows around like Yaskier or whatever, the guy who plays the lute.
Is he a bard?
That's a bard. That's a bard.
Oh, sorry.
No,
oh my gosh.
You're good.
It came out of nowhere.
Okay, so now we have what a bard is. Next up is a cleric. Okay, a cleric is somebody who uses divine healing magic. Next up, we have a druid, and druids can use nature-themed magic and like transform into animals. So like Beast Boy from X-Men or no, from Teen Titans would be a druid, basically.
I missed Teen Titans.
That was a good show. That ended too early. Teen Titans and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Boom. There's 2, just not from the networks you wanted. Yes. So, and then next up we have a fighter. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have a monk, which is a martial artist. And then we have a paladin, which is a heavy character, like Gimli from Lord of the Rings would be a paladin, like good with defense. Okay. Yeah. And then we have a ranger who's like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. And then we have a rogue, which is like your thief, like almost, I mean, like Legolas would be a rogue, even though Legolas wasn't like a thief. And then a sorcerer, which is like your Gandalf. He doesn't do a lot of sword combat, but he does magic. And then we have a warlock, which is like half combat magic, half like melee. And then you have a wizard who uses arcane magic, which is like not magic that you're born with. Like they had to learn it. So
okay.
Yeah, so you could kind of lump sorcerer and wizard into the same. So yeah. I think I have an idea of what you would be.
Yeah, can you just answer the question for me, because
yeah, no worries.
No I don't have enough background information.
I think you would be a cleric, because whenever other people are around you, they tend to get, more hyped up and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say bard just because no offense, you don't know how to play any musical instruments. That's just a fact.
No.
So I think you'd be a cleric, and then I think I would for sure be a sorcerer. I'm always a wizard.
For sure. You always play the wizard.
I always play the wizard. If I could be a wizard in real life, I'd trade anything to be a wizard.
Yeah, you really would. I agree with
have
that.
a long beard, like the Gandalf pipe, all of that. Yes, please. And then finally,
I agree.
Yeah, this one's the easiest one, I think. So what do we have?
Seth the senpai wants to know Bluebell or Brahms.
Yeah, that's super simple. Brahms, 100% Brahms.
I think it depends.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Why does it depend?
Well, okay, so when you say Brahms, are you just saying fresh ice cream cone out the drive-thru?
No, because I don't think Bluebell doesn't do that. So you're
talking about the tubs,
right? Because you can buy Brahms ice cream.
Also say Brahms.
Yeah, I mean Bluebell's good, but I mean living in Oklahoma, Brahms is that's culture. You just can't.
It is culture.
Right. It's you go to Sonic for a drink, then you go to Brahms for ice cream, in the same night. That's just how we do it. Right, the loop. I love that. You make the good old Oklahoma loop. So
you just gotta make the loop.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much for your question, and thank you, Stephen, for your wonderful take about when American society peaked. We really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, Stephen.
Yes, we do. So I think that about does it for today. So be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms with the handle @TheStevia and be sure to subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcast app that you listen to. If you are on YouTube, so shout out to Garland Winford, search for The Stevia Show and subscribe with that notification button smashed.
Make sure to check out our streams. We stream at least twice a week. Stream schedules are posted on all platforms monthly and on our Instagram weekly. I'm dyslexic today. I cannot read this thing. Anchor producers are able to join multiplayer streams and in-game chat. We would like to thank our Anchor and Patreon producers for their continued
Same here.
Oh my gosh.
You have your wedding on your mind. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We would like to thank our Anchor and Patreon producers for their continued support. You can support us for as little as 99 cents a month and receive exclusive Discord roles and bonus episodes every month except for October.
Yes. And actually, I think I know what it is. You told me you were spray painting before this.
I was spray painting, so I might be a little.
There's the answer. There's the answer. But she was doing it for legitimate purposes. So
yes.
Lydia's not. She's not out here huffing spray paint. So don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. And we also have merchandise available through our links in our bio and our show notes. So whenever you visit us online, be sure to check out our link tree and click on merch. We ship nationwide as well. I don't really think so if you live in New Zealand, we will ship to you. And I think we just talked about there in the United States. So yeah, that does it for episode 97. Lydia will not be joining us in episode 98 or 99, but whenever Lydia makes her triumphant return, it will be episode 100.
100.
How crazy is that? How crazy is that we have been a podcast for 100 episodes?
We talked a lot.
I do and I don't want to know how many total hours worth of audio our podcasts have been.
I feel like if we said that the average was an hour, that means that we've done 100 hours.
Oh gosh. And how many, hang on, I'm going to look at that really quick. So let's do 100 divided by 24. That's 4.1 straight days of talking. That would be 4.1 days of us never shutting up.
And that doesn't even count the times that we play video games and talk.
No, and that's not streams. Yeah, that's just this. And
that's
excluding the bonus episodes too. So 4.1 days.
4.1 days.
That's crazy. That is.
We like to talk a lot.
We do, but above all else, we are so happy that you all listen to us on your drives home from work, or listening in the office or whatever. We appreciate this. We love doing this for y'all and with y'all, because this is our podcast. It's our podcast, our team,
our team.
Yes, Team Stevia.
Yeah, so, you can always send us takes about movies, and we'll watch them. I might not always agree with you,
right?
But we will do it for you. That's
Absolutely.
why we're here for you.
We are. Yeah, we are here for Team Stevia. But I think that about does it for the day. Lydia, again, congratulations on your upcoming marriage. I know I will see you, but there won't be a podcast in between then and there. So congratulations. Yep. And for the last time, you are signing off as
Lydia Winford.
And this is Steven, and we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.